Hmm. It takes a village of pillows. Hi, readers. It's Lori. Welcome back to my channel, Books, Ink, and Paper, and welcome to our April most anticipated reads list. I have curated a number of books. I have limited it to 10, but it wasn't hard for me to do that because I didn't find as many as I really wanted to read. I'm sad to say. I struggled with it. I had to really research this for a while. And so I've had the list for a bit. I'm just now filming this. I'm noticing a couple of other people have filmed videos, including Krista, my friend at Books and Jams, and a couple of the ones that she's added are also on my list. But there's some that I think are a little, I don't know, maybe out of the ordinary. Shall see. But I am ready to go with this, so let's give it a shot. The first one is Yesteryear. This is a novel by Caro Burke, and it comes out on April 7th. And I believe this is her debut novel because there's only one book listed for her on Goodreads. It has a 4.19 rating. Oh, a little over 2,000 people have taken a look at it, and that's a pretty good start, I would say. I did enter a giveaway for this on Goodreads, so we'll see what happens. But this one is such a mix of genres. I don't even know how to say this to you without laughing, but I'm going to try. This is fiction, historical fiction, mystery, thriller, time travel, contemporary, historical, literary fiction, and science fiction. I know you're thinking there couldn't be anything else, right? I think that she has run the gamut of every possible category. I also think that this is going to be a Book of the Month Club selection for April. They put out every month a little sort of a sneak peek or a hint of what might be one of the Book of the Month selections. And there, to me, is no question that this is the one that they're going to feature. So let's talk about what this is about. It's about a woman named Natalie, and Natalie is a social media kind of influencer. She cooks, as I recall, with a lot of just amazing kitchen setups, and just she's pretty famous. She has a husband. She has 6 children. She's probably pretty busy. But it's a reality show, TV kind of situation until she wakes up one morning, and she is currently now in the year 1805. Her husband and children are there, but they don't seem familiar to her. And she's not certain what's happened, and she's certainly not certain that she wants to be living in 1805. It's a little bit different than modern day systems are, right? So this is a weird kind of it's a genre bending novel, I would say. And also, it's kind of funny. It says it's a little bit humorous. And by this description, I would say that that's true because at one point she says, is she being tested by God or by Satan? At least that's what the synopsis says. And she also wants to escape. She's just got to figure out how to get out of this space. I'm sure that 1805 was not an easy place to be. You had to grow all of your own things. You had to wash your clothes by hand. You had to live through very difficult weather patterns, and of course, no cars, no. It must have been very shocking to her. But I do think that this one will be fun, and I wouldn't mind getting to that fairly soon. If I am able to get it on Book of the Month Club, I might get it. I might do that. We'll see. If I win it too, then I'll, give it away. So this one next is The Book Witch by Meg Shaffer, which also comes out on April 7th. And this one is the third book by this author with this name. So there was a little bit of a thing that happened a few years ago when she was nominated for her first book by the Goodreads community to have you vote on it. And she had actually not been a debut author because she had written some other books under a different name. So I think she was removed from that space. But I really did love The Wishing Game. Is that what it was called? Yes, The Wishing Game. And the second one is A Lost Story. And then The Book Witch, of course, is the third. These are standalones, so you don't have to read them in order. And again, this one is fantasy, I would say, and kind of light fantasy. If it's like the one that she had before. So magical realism. This is a book about books, which you know I adore, a little bit of romance and some witches, right? So what could be better in a fiction novel? So this is about a third generation witch, book witch. Her name is Rainey March. Isn't that interesting? It's still March when I'm filming this, so it's kind of, yeah, it was just unique. It's a unique name, but she's actually in her space as a witch. She is to defend works of fiction from any sort of impact that they might be having from outside people and from who knows people who are nefarious. And it says she wants to fix malicious alterations and rogue heroes. I'm not sure about this one. I'm really not sure about this one, but it says she's been forbidden to see the Duke of Chicago, who is a British detective who's a star in one of her favorite mystery series, and she will be expelled from her coven if she is ever going to be with him again or meet with him. So I'm assuming there's some kind of a relationship there, but I'm not certain. And also her grandfather disappears and a book is stolen, and so there's only her that can try to figure this out. So it's a bit of a mystery as well as a fantastic, magical kind of realism situation. And so again, I'm not sure about it. I'm going to kind of keep looking for the ratings and see what other people think when they start reading it. But, and I'd like to finish The Lost Story so that I don't get too far behind in her canon. The Ending Writes Itself by Evelyn Clark also comes out on April 7th. This one is one that I do think I would enjoy. 3.90 with only a little over 700 ratings so far. This is a new author to me, although I don't think that this is her debut? Yes, it is. I take that back. This is her debut, so let's cheer her for that. This is a creation of two authors, Kat Clark and B.E. Schwab. So it's not really Evelyn Clark. It is indeed the two of them. Does that make this even more interesting to me? Yes, yes, it does. So this is a bit of a mystery thriller, a bit of a locked room space, fiction, adult, contemporary, a book about books as well. So this is about an author whose name was Arthur Fletch. And he's a best-selling novelist and reclusive, and he's known for fiendish twists and for books that really draw people in. And he invites 6 authors to this private island of his in Scotland, I believe. And when they arrive, they discover that Arthur Fletch has passed away. And he's left a book that's unfinished, and someone needs to finish it. So the 6 of them, I believe, are tasked with finishing this novel. And then I think the editor will choose which one is able to be the one who gets credit for having finished it. However, there might be some other nefarious things and people trying to kind of maybe murder so that this doesn't happen to, someone else instead of them. I think this will be fun. It's a cute, quirky kind of a cover. It reminds me a little bit of the Anthony Horowitz covers, and I love those, but I think this one would be fun. The next one, I want this one so badly. I really do. I even gave a sneak peek of this video to my book club friends because I couldn't wait to tell somebody about this book, somebody who loves books like this as much as I do, and they all do. So this is The Infinite Sadness of Small Appliances by Glenn Dixon. This also comes out on the 7th of April. It currently has a 4.06 rating with a little over 250 raters, so it hasn't been getting a ton of buzz yet, but how could you resist The Infinite Sadness of Small Appliances? So this is a science fiction fantasy novel. It's cozy, it's adult, very speculative, but this is about a smart house, and they have a sentient Roomba who listens as her owner, Harold, reads a book to his dying wife, and he reads the book To Kill a Mockingbird. And she is mesmerized by this story as she listens to it as she's cleaning with the Roomba around the house, and she renames herself Scott because she really embodies that character. But Edie, the wife, passes away, and her fellow sentient appliances in the home discover that there's something terrible that's brewing within their community, and that is that people are trying to get Harold kicked out of his house. And so they get some help from a neighbor boy named Adrian, and they're going to turn this ship around, and they are going to outwit the other people that are doing this, and they're going to risk losing everything in order to support and save Harold. Can you imagine anything funnier and sweeter and absolutely necessary for you to read? I don't know. I can't. I think it is absolutely a must. I love the cover. It looks like the Roomba Scout is crying on the cover. I just gotta have it. Okay, that is that one. And I don't know if any of the others will compare to this, really. All right, Jane Harper, an author that I like. I have too many books unread that are on my shelves by Jane Harper, but I also think that this one would be one that I would enjoy. I like her a good bit, and she's an Australian author. She has a little bit of a different feel to her, but also she's very good at captivating us through these, kinds of plots and development of people and just twisty kinds of turns as well. So Last One Out currently has a 3.62 rating, but not a little over 9,000 people have rated it so far. So that's a good amount of folks that are pre-reading this or getting an arc of it. So this is set in a modern ghost town. So it's also mystery thriller. It's also a little bit of horror, I would think, some crime in this as well, and fiction, clearly. And I think this one might be really, really good. So Carillon Ridge is this old community in New South Wales, and it was a beautiful, vibrant place for a long time, and then it was not. This character's name is Ro, R-O, and Ro's son, Sam, has died, and it's very weird circumstances, and she's still grieving over this, and her family has not been the same since, obviously, this happened. There's a lot of misinformation or information she doesn't have. So she returns to Carillon Ridge because she always really liked it, but Carillon Ridge is not the same as it was when she was younger. It's very dilapidated. There's lots of people that have moved out, very few people living there. It's just kind of a ghost town, if you will, as the synopsis says. You can imagine what that means. So she and her husband and her daughter return on the anniversary of Sam's death. She's going to do an oral history of Carillon Ridge because it means something to her. It has, some memories and things that are very important to her. And so she begins this journey and begins to live there in this, like I said, kind of worn out little place. And she also then discovers that there might be some missing information about what happened to Sam that she was not aware of, and she's ready to figure it out. She is a fighting mama, grieving, fighting mama who wants to be able to figure out what happened to her child. And she does not want these secrets to die with him or with them or with this community. So, does that sound really good? Yes, it does. Will I probably buy it? Yes, I probably will. And I don't know if I told you, but that one comes out on April 14th. Also coming out on April 14th, this is called Leave Your Mess at Home, and this is by Tolani Akinola. I think that's how you pronounce it, but I'm not sure. This one is a coming into a new phase of adult life, fiction, family drama, contemporary, literary fiction, truly, and it is set in Chicago. So, I had to look at that. So this is about Sola Longe or Long. I'm not sure. She's the eldest daughter. She's not been connected to her family for quite some time. She's been a social media digital influencer, and she was disgraced in some way. And that's a tough life sometimes to lead. And so she wants to put her life back together again. So she returns to her home. She's also in love with her best friend who just got engaged to somebody else. Her sister is a college junior and the baby of the family, and she's grappling with her sexuality and her identity, self-image, those kinds of things. Ola is the golden child who has a baby coming on the way and is questioning his marriage and his relationship to peace with raising a Black son in America. So then, and this one might be a fall read for me, as you will see in a moment. So then they all get together and they go for a Thanksgiving dinner with their Nigerian immigrant parents, which they have not done for a long time. And at the Thanksgiving table, some things are maybe not so thankful. There is a lot of resentment, a lot of exasperation. There's some things that they've all been holding in. So in the wreckage of this space, they're all, but especially each one of the children, forced to sort of reckon with the past and take stock of what they have ownership of and how they have behaved and what they've done and how they're feeling, and to be able to really kind of connect each other and leave the mess at home. This one is, I would say, about forgiveness. It is about love, unconditional family love, which we, of course, don't usually detach from. And when we do, it's very difficult, right? It's very emotionally hard. Who do we want to be? How do siblings support each other? What do we owe to our parents and to our siblings? And that's really kind of, an important question to ask, but also what do we owe to ourselves? This one I think would be wonderful. There is a giveaway for a couple more days as well, so I've entered into that, but I think this would be a great contemporary fiction novel for me, and I've never read anything by this author. And I'm trying to read from different countries, and so I would love to have the opportunity to read a book about Nigerians, because it's not a place I think I have read for a while. All right, the next one is called The Caretaker. This is by Marcus Kliewer or Kliewer. I'm not sure. Feel free to correct me with sort of a phonetic pronunciation of his name. I've read nothing by him, but I do have a couple of books of his on my radar that I have seen a lot of people have loved. So that would be great as well. This has a 4.13 rating at the moment, with just a little over 1,300 people having rated it. This one is horror, and I'm in for horror, as you know. So this one is about an ad for someone to become a caretaker for someone that they've never met. And it is apparently an urgent kind of thing. There's really competitive pay. It's only 3 days worth of work. And Macy Mullins has been laid off. And so she's like really feeling grabbed by this. How hard could this be, right? She's just like, yeah, this is it. 3 days, competitive pay. I'm all in. How can I refuse? 3 days work, good pay. Stuck in a stranger's house in Oregon in the wilderness with nobody else around might be a little creepy, right? Okay, yes. Starts out like everything's working fine, becomes a nightmare. Incomprehensible evil may dwell on this property, is what the synopsis said. And she may be the only person that can stand between that and the rest of humanity. If you think this is dramatic, you're right. So this is what's interesting to me. At the end of the synopsis, it says, follow the rights, follow the rights, follow the rights, RITES. I think it's going to be fantastic. So horror, thriller, fiction, mystery, I'm all in. I'm all in. The next one is Last Night in Brooklyn by Xochitl Gonzalez. I looked that one up because I would never have been able to figure that out. It has a 3.95 rating with just over 180 ratings, so not a lot of people have taken a look at it and rated it. It comes out on the 21st of April, and it's set in spring of 2007. So Alicia Canales Fortin, or 410, I'm not sure about that, is 26, and she's feeling like there is no kind of end in sight. She's in a long distance relationship. She's living at home. Her mother's really like kind of pressing her into getting married, saving her money, doing the things she wants her to do for the wedding, her own beliefs. I would assume those are her religious beliefs as well. And she goes out one night into Fort Greene, Brooklyn, and finds herself lured into this place by a song that she hears in a, like, I guess it's a nightclub or a pub. So she feels lured into this space that she's walking through this neighborhood. And so she goes in, and there is a party that is being thrown by someone named Lagarza, who is larger than life, very entertaining, has these big parties, and he just has this whole neighborhood experience. And if you've ever been to one of those, you know that they are very propulsive. And he has what Alicia wants. He has this sort of freedom to be himself. He knows who he is, he knows what he wants, and she feels like this is, really a guy she can connect to. And then her wealthy banker cousin moves into the neighborhood as well. Alicia is just kind of consumed. I think probably the memory of the fiance is gone. She's probably rebelling against her mother. And she's also in the midst of a life-changing presidential election, fiscal crisis, lots of things happening around her. And she's in the kind of state of wondering whether or not American people of color will be able to survive some of this. And what can money buy when she thinks about Lagarza, but also what can money not buy is one of the other themes of this particular book. It's probably sad, it's probably frustrating, but it's set in New York, and it's also about a topic that we don't really think about, the disparity between, and it's still going on today, obviously, but the disparity for some folks, the kind of expectations that people have for us as we grow older and as we do the things they think we should do, right? And just feeling connected to something for the first time in your life, perhaps, or at least recently, and also feeling disconnected from your community and from your your identity and your beliefs, whether they're political or religious. Let me know if you've read anything by this author, because I know she's written a number of things, and I don't have any history with her at all. Number 9, we're almost done already. It seems unbelievable to me, but this is A Deadly Episode, which is written by Anthony Horowitz. This is book 6 of the Hawthorne and Horowitz series, and it's one of my favorites. I'm not going to reveal a whole lot about it because I'm behind, but he's also written Moonflower Murders recently, and he's written some other things for young people as well. But it says this is an unput-downable new mystery in this series. I will say that there are moments where I am not particularly fond of Hawthorne, but I've always been fond of Horowitz. He is a real-life author who portrays himself in these novels, and I think that that's really fancy and fun. But The Word is Murder, which is the first book in this series, is about to be made into a major feature film. And you know that, I think, all along the way, if you've read a few of these. But the actors and everyone has already been cast, and they're ready to start filming, and then something happens. They're finding when they arrive on set that things are a little bit in chaos. That's all I want to know. I don't want to spoil anything. I feel like that's not going to spoil anything for you guys, because you don't know kind of what led up to this space, except that they've always wanted to make this, well, not always, they've wanted to make this film for several years now. So I think it'll be great. I can't say nobody does crime better than Anthony Horowitz, but he's up there at the high peak of crime writers that I really appreciate and follow and purchase. So I'm sure that this one will be on my shelves around the 21st of April, or maybe it'll be on Book of the Month Club too. That would be really nice, but I haven't seen any hints of anything that look like that. I do love the cover of this, the director's chair with the knife in the chair. They're always very similar, very well done, very kind of mid-century-ish, and I don't know, I like them. All right, readers, this is Editing Lori, who had 10 books on her list of books to talk about and had them written down and had screenshots for all of them, and then when filming, left this one off. So I'm going to share with you book number 9. I think I just had this whole thing messed up, but this is We Burn So Bright by TJ Klune. And I'm kind of hit and miss with TJ Klune, but this one sounds like I really, really, really will love it. This is a 4.41 rating. It's expected on April 28th. I'm going to read you the synopsis, 1, because I didn't really do a lot of looking at it recently, but 2, because it's so beautiful. That's really the reason I'm reading this to you, because I could not say this in this way. All right, here we go. This is a standalone, so you don't have to have read any of the Whispering Sea or any of those other books that he's written. The road stretched out before them. No other cars, just the headlights on the black top. Above, the cracked moon is in a kaleidoscope sky. Husbands Don and Rodney have lived a good long life. Together they've experienced the highest highs of love and family and lows so low that they felt like the end of the world. Now the world is ending for real. A wandering black hole is coming for Earth, and in a month everything and everyone they've ever known will be gone. Suddenly, after 40 years together, Don and Rodney are out of time. They're in a race against the clock to make it from Maine to Washington State, to take care of some unfinished business before it's all over. On the road, they meet those who refuse to believe death is coming and those who rush to meet it. But there are also people living their final days as best they know how, impromptu weddings, bright burning bonfires, shared meals, and new friends. And as the black hole draws near, among ball lighting and under a cracked moon in a kaleidoscope sky, Don and Rodney will look back on their lives and ask if their best was good enough. Is it enough to burn bright if nothing comes from the ashes? Guys, I have chills every time I've read that now, and that's the third time. All right, so here's what you need to know. Fantasy, science fiction, fiction, LGBTQ themes, romance, queer romance, also adult dystopia, and novella. So this is very, very short and also is a beautiful cover. And how did I eliminate this from the list of 10 that I had for you today? I don't know, but there we go. All right, and the last one, number 10, is a memoir, Dogs, Boys, and Other Things I've Cried About by Isabel Klee. This comes out on the 26th of April. This is a 4.61 rating currently, with only 446 people having rated it. This is a social media star, Isabel Klee. I don't know her, but I need to, I guess, because this book is for me. This book is for my partner. This book is for a number of our friends. Absolutely a good choice for us to choose for a birthday gift for somebody that we care deeply about, who's also in the dog rescuing space. So this one is about dog rescuing. She's been obsessed with dogs since she was a child. She grew up in Jersey and then moved to New York, and she stopped going to college and took a job with a photographer of dogs and started to realize that she wanted that to be more of a focus in her life. She also started meeting a lot of people, parties, boyfriends, relationships, seeing the sights, getting caught up in a lot of the whirlwind that is New York. She lives in the basement of an apartment in Manhattan, not making a lot of money. But what she decides to do then is to start to rescue dogs. It's not enough to take photographs of them. She wants to absolutely change their lives. She also has, in this memoir, talks about a specific dog that was really something for her. We all have those dogs that stay with us forever. Simon is a fluffy little dog, and she saves him, and she really learns from him as well as from these experiences. We all probably remember this space where we were 20, 25, and we were sort of a little bit adrift trying to figure out what was really good for us, who was really good for us, what we wanted to do, creating complicated relationships. There's some things I look back on and I think I just cringe that I would have ever done that to someone or experienced that with someone. We just are young and we make choices that we later sometimes regret, but we have to get past that. And so she's created a happy ending for herself now, at least for the moment. She's still going, but really has done something that brought her back to life internally and really helped her to find her passion and the work that she wants to do. So this is a book about dogs and adults and a little bit of romance, biography, and memoir, nonfiction. The cover. I mean, the cover. Dogs, Boys, and Other Things I've Cried About is also something that I can relate to. So yeah, I think this has got to be the one that seals the deal for me. And number 10 it is. So Thanks so much for watching today. I appreciate you putting up with my banter as well as my choices for the most anticipated reads list. Some of these may not be books that are your kind of books, and I get that, but hopefully a few of them are. Maybe you already have gotten an arc of them, so you want to tell me a little bit about them, that would be great as well. Let me know if you've read some of these authors before. If you know who Isabel Klee is, much more than I do, clearly. I don't watch a lot of social media these days anymore either, but it looks like or sounds like she's been doing that for quite a while. Let me know in the comments below if you have dogs, if you have cats, if you have anything you want me to know about that would lead you or draw you into one of these books. Also, let me know what you're anticipating in the month of April. There's a ton of titles out there. It's really hard to create these lists in a way that feels manageable for me anyway, but I also love watching other people's videos about these lists because they find things that I didn't know about. So I'm sure that will happen to me too. If you don't want to leave a comment in the comment section below, you can always leave an emoji. You can share an emoji with dogs, wine, movies, right? Or film, something about film, anything. Anything that fits for you. New York flag, whatever you want. I appreciate you being here so very much. If you're new to this channel and you'd like to subscribe, I would love that as well. I am always welcoming new subscribers, and it's just the best part of what I do because you guys are the reason I'm here and the reason I still love to do this. Also, if you have a minute, just click the little like button, the thumbs up button, because that does give me a little bit of viewing from other people that may not be able to see me if they're not subscribed. And whatever you'd like to do, you just carry on and do it and read whatever you want to read in the month of April. And as always, I hope it is happy reading. Bye.